Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another reaction video for today. And it's been a while since I've actually watched a Critical Drinker video on here. I know people really either like or don't like Critical Drinker, but I really want to know what he had to say about this, because I know he was not a fan of Part 2. I'm not a big fan of Part 2, personally. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's actually a pretty good game, like the game itself. But the story itself, I had issues with for sure. Which anytime you say that, people come out of the woodwork and are like, "Oh, what issues?" I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't matter if I say what issues I have with it, which I've said many times in the past. I don't want to be. I don't want to have to repeat myself over and over again. Even if I said it, they would come out and say, "No, they're not real issues." So whatever. It's fine for people that love the games just to say I love everything about it and not explain why. But when someone has an issue, it's bullshit when they're not allowed to just say I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like it's double standards. But anyway, whatever. Let's get to it. Oh, you should learn to love everything or something like that. I'm like, okay, sure, buddy. Yeah, I'll just blindly spend money and not like it, but lie and say I liked it just because I don't want to hurt some random person's feelings. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, play.
I've said before that I've always had misgivings about Season 2 of The Last of Us, because like anyone who played the game, I know exactly what it's leading to.
Oh yeah. No.
And the first episode seemed to bear out a lot of my concerns. A
Yeah.
tedious slog through trite
Oh, I didn't like
interpersonal
the first
dramas
episode.
and angsty teen romances. Ellie's gay, by the way.
She is?
Poorly explained conflict between the two leads that will only make sense if you've played the games, a lightweight action sequence that reduced the infected to more of a mild inconvenience than an existential threat to humanity, and possibly one of the most insane fight scenes ever committed to film.
Yeah.
So it was
That's not surprising. Like that. Yeah, I mean, I wish they made it make more sense. Like, I wasn't fully against it because she wasn't like just like overpowering the dude like just like in the same way a lot of our movies do it. But yeah, whatever.
kind of a cautious, underwhelming start to the season that didn't give us a whole lot to grapple with. Episode 2, on the other hand, is where shit gets real. And boy,
She
does
got
it get
really real.
fast.
Yeah.
But how does it compare to the
Crazy.
game, you ask? Is it better or worse?
I think
and can it possibly
I think it was, but that's me.
make the
I know some people are upset that like visually it didn't look the same, and that she gave all the exposition away to Joel, even though it makes sense for at least this version of Abby to do that because she's obviously very pent up with anger for the last few years, which obviously the game version was, but this one is more so. So be like dishing out all that exposition in front of Joel's face before what happens made sense to me. Like, I don't know, but for this version of Abby so far that we've seen,
of The Last of Us Part 2 work. Well, grab your bigot sandwiches and let's
didn't have that line in the fucking show.
find out together, shall we?
Bigot
Now,
sandwiches.
obviously, this review is going to contain all kinds of delicious spoilers for both the show and the game.
Yum, yum.
And if you don't want to know what's coming up, then go take part in something more enjoyable. Like an exorcism. Anyway, the episode centers around two major events.
Alright.
A mass
Sounds
attack
fun.
against the settlement of Jackson that provides a neat distraction and forms a kind of apocalyptic backdrop to the big character moment of the show, which is the death of Joel.
I'm still fucking so confused by why Tommy was on the street though. Like, I get like the flamethrower, yeah, okay, but like the other people left immediately, and it's a flamethrower. He's not gonna be able like what? There's so many of them. Like what? Like I'm assuming he thought it was gonna thin the horde would thin down from all the people on the rooftops. But what? I don't understand exactly. Like, why didn't you just make like a barrier or just like do another firewall thing or something like that, or more barrels to explode right in the middle of the street?
At the hands of Abby.
Yeah, just right in the middle. Not too big, just
Although
right there. I
in honor
don't know, whatever.
Game Abby and the fact that they clearly couldn't find an actual human being of her proportions, I'm going to refer
Well, they exist, but I don't know if they're actors. That's the
to her
problem.
from now on as Mini Gigantor.
I just thought it was a stupid idea to have it. She looked like a Gears of War character. Like, she was like way too big. Admittedly, it was fun playing as Abby. Sometimes. I say sometimes because I feel like a lot of her stuff was so so not well paced.
Anyway,
Like,
the gist is that Mini Gigantor and her band of
Mini
not-so-merry men have tracked Joel back to his home in Jackson, but because the place is heavily fortified, there's no way they can fight their way inside to get to him. But what to do? Mini
don't worry, convenience is coming.
Gigantor doesn't have any fucking ideas, so she goes off to stand on a mountain for a while and freeze her arse off while she ponders the improbability of female bodybuilders in a post-apocalyptic world without access to steroids and HGH. The irony here, though, is that if they'd just observed the place for a while, they would have realised that Jackson basically has an open-door policy when it comes to refugees, and they probably could have bluffed their way inside and killed Joel at their leisure. Luckily for them, though, and for the convenience of the plot, the mountain comes to Muhammad in this case when Joel goes out on patrol and just so happens to run into Mini Gigantor as she's being attacked by a horde of the infecteds.
What a stroke of luck!
Unable to get...
Yeah, that's another problem I have with the game. I wish they kind of did it a little bit better here. I think they did, but I still want it to be more... It would make more sense. It's just like a lot of convenience. Like, oh, Joel was just out there at the right amount of time for like Abby, and they were at the exact same area. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know Joel goes out a lot. I get it, but like, it's very convenient for them to immediately meet up like that, and right before Abby's about to be murdered too. You know,
back to Jackson.
It happens in the game. I think it's done better here personally, but
the group takes shelter in the lodge where the rest of Mini Gigantor's group are holed up, allowing her to get the drop on him and savagely beat him to death just as Ellie arrives to witness it. So far, so Last of Us Part 2, but how does the show compare to the game? Well, the interesting thing is that it's actually both better and worse depending on your perspective here.
Okay.
First up,
well, if you love the game, then it's probably worse.
the positives. One of the biggest...
Obviously, because it does it differently in enough ways where it's like, ugh.
Best changes is the big set-piece battle in Jackson, which never actually happens in the game, but provides a much-needed kick in the arse for this season, and a reminder of how dangerous the
I'm assuming the rest of the season's not going to have anything big like this.
infected actually are in large...
I wonder if the Rat King will show up, though. No, it'll be season 3. That will be crazy.
numbers.
Well, at least it better look crazy.
It's well shot,
I think it's a nightmare.
epic, visceral, action-packed, and for once, the human defenders actually make smart use of their resources.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Mostly,
I'm not sure about the resolution, though. I mean, once the infected break into the place in large numbers, it really seems like they've been overrun. But when we cut back to it at the end of the episode, the defenders are mopping up the last of the infected with no clear...
Yeah, we kind of do skip that. That's true. We kind of skip because we follow Tommy at a certain point, and then we don't I mean, we do... I want to say we do see a little bit more of what's going on over here, but we focus more on Tommy after, and then we get to see them mopping up, like killing some of the people that were infected and stuff.
Tide turns. All this is really just window dressing, though. The more important change is the confrontation between...
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't bring up that Tommy wasn't even a part of Joel's thing here, which is good because Tommy just spouting out fucking his and Joel's name and saying, "Hey, we're the Jackson over here." Like, come on, you barely know these fucking people. Like, what are you doing? Why don't you tell them your weaknesses too while you're at it? Yeah, we have like, one of our gates are a little fucked up. I mean, I guess at this point the entire gate's fucking dead. But
Joel and Mini
again, it didn't happen in the game. So.
Gigantor, and this is where things are going to get contentious. See, the showrunners are clearly aware of the criticism leveled at the game and the generalized hatred for Abby as a character, where she basically just shows up and kills Joel without any explanation. Here, there's a much more obvious attempt.
This is the thing. I know everybody keeps saying like they should have kept all that stuff for later. Like, it doesn't, like, immediately I knew Abby was getting revenge on Joel for probably killing somebody. Like, it doesn't matter who it was. It really doesn't, because, like, especially if you assume it's going to be one of the Firefly people that died in the last game, then it's going to be someone you don't fucking know anyway. I know it's not going to be Marlene, because that'd be a little, like, and also, unless she's, like, best friends or something, or, like, adoptive, like, kind of like a daughter, like a mother-daughter thing, kind of like how Joel is, father to Ellie. But like immediately I'm like, it's just gonna be like, I don't know. And also I can't remember the game. How do they know it's Joel anyway? He kills everybody in there. I guess they were meeting with Joel, so I can't remember in the game. I'm sure it gives a reasoning. This one hasn't yet, so at least I don't think so. So
Developer
unless maybe they're talking to them on the radio or something, just in case, a guy named Joel or something.
motivations and show
I
a
can't
more
remember.
human,
They might have said something about that in the first episode.
vulnerable side to her right off the bat. The actress does a great job
Yeah,
with the
she's great.
material, really selling the idea of a loving daughter out to
I really like this, actually.
the
Her
death
going through her mind and telling her younger
of her
self,
father.
don't go in
And
there.
overall, I empathized with her a lot more than I did with the
I do, too. I actually do.
version, which isn't exactly difficult.
No.
I've empathized more with things floating in my toilet bowl than that bit of slab of beef. The setup is also...
I just think she's a very generic character in the game. I'm sorry. Like, I know her full story, and it's just... I just don't like her. Like, I'm sorry. I even if you get rid of the fact that she killed Joel, which is obviously hard to do, but I know everybody wants to say, like, oh, he got what was coming to him and stuff, even though everybody loves Joel, and now all of a sudden, just so they could defend Last of Us Part 2, they say, yeah, Joel had it coming. Like, I don't know. Fireflies probably killed tons of people. Probably a lot of people that didn't deserve it. So they were about to kill somebody that didn't deserve it without any consent from her, too. So, you know.
Changed slightly so that Joel is paired up with Dina on patrol now, who gives away his name in the heat of the moment and tips Mini Gigantor off that she's found her man. Again,
that one felt more realistic because Dina's younger, and also like Dina's just like fucking freaking out. It's like Joel, like
a small change, but an important one
a better
to make
one.
Joel less of a fucking moron.
Yeah.
That being said,
to be fair, it was Tommy. It wasn't Joel. Tommy was like, "Hey, I'm Tommy. This is my brother Joel." we something about I think he says like we got a place Jackson over here, you know.
Still
like, I think
frustrating as fuck that he doesn't even attempt to justify his actions from the first season.
I actually don't mind that.
He's given ample opportunities to do it.
I'm actually okay with that because I don't know.
Saying it would have changed her mind or anything, but it might at least give her pause for thought if he'd said, "I'm really sorry."
I didn't like that he said, "I saved you," though. Like this version of Joel already called himself a good guy in the first episode, which I don't think Joel would do. Like, I'm a good guy. You know, I was like, what? And of course, you know, him saying like, I saved you. You know.
But your dad was about to murder an innocent girl that I cared deeply about, and I didn't want to kill him, but it was the only way to save her life, and if you were in my position, you'd have done exactly the same thing, young lady. Oh well, having Joel just sit there in silence while young women blame him for stuff that wasn't his fault is one of the hallmarks of the second game, so I guess there's no reason not to
Yeah, because there's that flashback where he just where she's like talking about the, you know, what happened with the Fireflies, and he's just like, wait, what the fuck did he say? He doesn't explain himself at all. It's like whatever.
Shove it in here too. Like I say, little decisions like these do help to correct the mistakes made by the game. Unfortunately, they come with their own sets of problems. Giving Mini Gigantor a clear motivation right off the bat and drawing out Joel's death means that the shock factor is gone this time around. Basically, everyone who's been following the show knew exactly what it was leading to, and so there's no element of surprise to his death now. It's just something we all knew was coming. Likewise, having a realistically proportionate...
But I just don't... This is my thing. Like, even if they reveal... Oh, here we go. It's the random doctor that got shot. By the way, I didn't like that she said he was unarmed. He had a scalpel and...
Actress playing Abby, it makes her a much more believable and vulnerable
unarmed
character
as in
now.
sidearm, I guess, maybe she meant. I don't know. Or trying to make it sound worse. I wish Joel said he had a scalpel. He like under his breath, he's like, yeah.
Which definitely helps the audience empathise with her. The downside is that Caitlin Dever is only like 5'2" and looks like she weighs about 100 pounds soaking wet, so how can I put this? She's not the most intimidating antagonist you'll ever see. In fact,
No. But I guess when you shoot him in the leg, you don't need to anymore.
Most of her gang absolutely tower over her, so it's kind of hard to buy her.
Especially that Owen guy. Owen's fucking huge.
As this hard-driving, intimidating leader that they'll follow to the ends of the earth. The bigger question, though,
shot. And he has his head slouched down too.
The bigger question, though, is where exactly does the show go from here without Joel to anchor it? Much as Pedro Pascal has become a double-barreled meme for his habit of showing up in absolutely everything and being possibly the worst-dressed man in all of
the fuck is that? Ew, what the fuck?
One thing you...
Hold on, what?
Absolutely everything, and...
Oh, there's that little shit Grogu, by the way. What the fuck are those... What the fuck?
Being possibly the worst...
He looks like he's like... He looks like a child trying to dress up like an adult.
Stressed man in all of Hollywood. One thing you can't...
What the fuck? He looks like like he was just a kid 2 minutes earlier, and then he just like grew 35 years old, older or whatever. He
Denies
just he was wearing baggy clothes though. I don't know,
that he's a
or he's just like a kid trying to dress like an adult or
pretty
something.
good actor who brings a certain
Yeah, he's a
charisma
great
to
actor.
most projects he's in. Without him around, it's really up to Bella Ramsey to carry the show
Uh-oh.
now, and
I don't think he likes Bella Ramsey. I think she was very good in the first. She looks nothing like Ellie. Admittedly, and yes, Kaylee Spanny is that her name? I think she would have been a better choice. I know she was probably too old to play Ellie in the first season, but I think Caitlin Dever probably would have been a better choice, honestly, in terms of the way she looks. But I think Bella Ramsey is very good.
well, I think you can see where I'm going with this one. Her version of Ellie is nowhere near as likable and compelling as her game counterpart, and with nobody to
From the first season, sure. I mean, Ellie is lovable in the first game, and I would say she was more likable. She was likable in the first season for sure. Yeah, sure.
play against and
But also, you have more time with her in the game because you have to remember the game itself is like 13, 14 hours long, and you spend like 13 hours. Like if you don't count well, maybe less. Let's say the first 2 hours is Tess and Joel, and also of course his backstory. So I'd say about at least a good like 10 to 11 hours with Ellie. Um, and that's longer than the show, especially since one episode of actually 2 episodes of almost in 2 episodes of the show season one, like they're together but not that much, you know what I mean? Like
balance her out, it does make me wonder if the worst thing about this show will end up being its fucking protagonists. I don't know,
well,
man.
I
Up
think
until
I
now,
think I severely don't like Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2. I really don't. I really don't. And I get you're not supposed to, but like even with that being the case, I still don't like I don't find her interesting either. That's the thing. Like you can hate a character, but if they're like interesting and you want to see what like a Homelander, like Homelander's a piece of shit, obviously, but you're interested in watching it. Like I wasn't with Ellie.
we've wondered if The Last of Us was going to follow in the footsteps of the video games or course correct in response to all the criticism. It's currently doing a bit of both, but definitely
Yeah,
leaning
leaning
towards the
towards
former.
adapting
Time will
it,
tell if the gamble pays
adapting it.
off. Also, just a little reminder that there's about 10 days left to go on the
Oh,
Trial by Fire
oh, is
Kickstarter.
this a
We're well
thing he's
past our
doing?
initial funding goal now, so we're pushing really hard in these last
Okay.
couple of weeks to reach our stretch goals so we can produce more and hopefully more ambitious and complex short films. So, if
Okay.
you'd like to support independent film projects and make all our creative
No,
dreams
I
come
only
true,
want to go and pay for the Minecraft movie and throw my popcorn at some grandma I don't know why she's in the theater.
the link is in the description.
She's like, "Oh my god,
Anyway,
popcorn
that's all I've
bukkake."
got for today.
That shot.
Go
I do
away
love that shot though.
now.
That's that's rough. Yeah. Anyway, I've been wanting to maybe replay Last of Us Part 2, but not really. I don't know. I did download it on my PS5 because I was like, maybe I'll play a little bit, but then I was like, maybe I'll just play that no return mode. Like, because the gameplay I like way more than I like the story. So gameplay wise, I think Last of Us Part 2 is great. And if the story was as good as the gameplay, then that would easily be one of the best games I've ever played. But sadly, the story, including characters and stuff, and not up to par for me personally. But gameplay wise, I think it's great. So yeah, so that's it. Last of Us. Well, they really did it. From Critical Drinker, I know some people don't like him, and he brings up a lot of the the things I guess people criticize Critical Drinker for doing, but I don't care. It's all bullshit anyway. I don't give a flying fuck. It's, like really, like let's get right down to it. I know like people think this shit is serious. Like overall, it's fucking not. It really is. It's just dumb shit. We'll all forget about this stuff in like a fucking year. Who gives a shit? Whatever. It's all dumb television shit. Who fucking care.